Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection. Bring you three new perspectives of varying skill range. I'm the farmer of this episode. With me, the farmhand that reeks of manure, Keith.
Hello.
And of course, the wonderful farmer's wife, Liz.
Hey guys.
And this week, Liz picked the game because she really wanted to play Coral Island.
Oh yeah, I did pick it.
Yes, you did. By Stairway Games. Coral Island is a cozy farming management game where you are playing a new farmer on an island and you are farming up the land, trying to repair this island because it recently got devastated from a recent oil flooding from the evil company Pufferfish. So you as the new farmer, of course, is trying to make some money, make some crops, fix the island. Essentially, if you have played Stardew Valley, you got to check out Coral Island. Okay, it's like exactly the same here, but we're gonna get into this. Liz, I'm gonna have you just start. Gamer Pass. Was Coral Island worth people's time?
I mean, we're starting off strong. It's a definite game for me. I do think right now it's very buggy, and so like there are some events and stuff that you can't really complete, and it could be a little frustrating. But it is so much like Stardew. It's like I don't never know like how much is too much copying.
I know.
This game is like I think it's a little over the line. There are some things that are different, and they added like their own twist to that type of story and stuff. But it's like I also kind of feel bad giving it a game almost because I almost feel bad for Stardew because it's so similar. But it is so fun. I put a billion hours into Stardew and I still am obsessed with this game. Like I thought I'd get like bored of it because of how much I did Stardew, but it's at least new enough that it's, keeping my interest.
Well, I'm jumping off of what you're saying there, and so for me, this is a definite game, and I'm gonna say, Liz, like, no, you should not feel bad. So, yeah, Coral Island, I agree, Liz. Like, it is very, very close to Stardew Valley. Like, some of the stuff they have in this, you could almost argue could be plagiarism, but I mean, and they're not bashful of the fact that they are copying off Stardew Valley. There's even like an homage to the creator of Stardew Valley, who he goes by Concerned Ape. In the game, there is a vendor called Concerned Monkey. So clearly kind of a Easter egg to the creator of Stardew Valley. But yeah, essentially this Stairway Games was like, hey, copy Stardew Valley, and then that's our building block, and then we're going to add our own little stuff to it. But they added quite a bit. Stardew Valley was in production for years. Where it's at now is a very significant game. When it first came out, people probably don't remember. Me and you, Liz, we played this Stardew Valley at the beginning, and it was pretty bare bones. But Coral Island is not. So
and
yes.
It makes a lot of it easier. Like
Yes,
it makes like
yes,
I mean
yes.
even just traveling around and things like that. So they definitely up to you get so much done faster.
Yeah. But yeah, Coral Island for me is a definite game, especially if you like Stardew Valley. You will love this. I know a lot of people's big complaint about Stardew Valley is they just didn't know what to do. Like they found it confusing. So, segue. Keith, you were not in our Stardew Valley episode because we had our wonderful guest, David Amber. So, did you ever play Stardew Valley?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean nowhere near the level that you guys have played Stardew Valley by any means. But I would even venture to bet if I were to look at it, I would bet I've put well over even 20 hours into Stardew Valley in some capacity over the years. It's a game that I've loved. I like the concept and the style and the cozy kind of laid back atmosphere of it. And leading into Coral Island, where you guys have already said it, it really is. It's Stardew Valley, kind of with an oceanic theme,
Yep.
but really not because it's still farming, and fishing exists in every video game, so that's not really something you would expect. But all in all, and just like Stardew, I did not put the hours into this game that I think you guys did.
Oh, we
But
put a lot.
but I still think it's a game. Now, it's not a game that I dive into and I bite into the way that you guys do because overall the genre, I don't struggle with it. I don't excel in it, and we'll talk about it. And it's weird to say I don't excel in it because you kind of can't fail. It's a no fail game,
Yeah.
but um, I don't manage well. I guess is the ultimate thing that I'm getting at. So it is a game. It's fun. And if you've never played either, I still think I would say play Stardew Valley because, as you guys both said, it's in just, I don't know. I don't even remember what it was like when it started, but I know that it's in a place now where it's a very, very playable game. And I think it's on Game Pass still, right?
It is. I don't think it's been
So-
removed yet. It should still be there.
So I don't know. I think if you haven't played either, play Stardew Valley. But if you have played Stardew Valley and you're looking for a good itch, I absolutely think Coral Island is just, even on the graphic change alone, is worth a check if you like the style and you've already played Stardew Valley.
Yeah, totally agree. But yeah, so let's get into the story of Coral Island. So
Oh, stop me if you've heard this one before. You inherited the farm from your grandpa.
it's a bit different this time, Keith. I knew you were gonna mention this. Yeah, I swear every management game is always just like, yeah, your grandparent or whatever relative died. There's your farmland. Okay, did you actually inherit though? I couldn't remember exactly how it started. I think you just moved back. I think you lived here.
You're the only person on this island who owns land. Everyone else lives in a hotel.
Yeah,
Okay.
a majority
Other
of
than
people do. Yes.
other than rich people. This is not meant to be a wealthy island. You are a homeowner on this land. You didn't just buy this. You inherited it.
But
That's-
okay, but you
That's
may
what happened.
you may not notice. But your grandparents are not dead. They're actually still alive in this game. They send you letters giving you updates on the family.
Oh, that is true. We'll
Yeah.
still they give it to you then.
Yeah, that is true.
what-
You
that's
still inherit a farmland, yes. But yeah, so the story, as you kind of said, even the story is very copy and paste a little bit of Stardew Valley. You inherit this farmland. You're sick of the hustle and bustle of city life, so off to Coral Island you go. And as I said, there was an oil spill that recently happened, and it just devastated the island. This town used to be a huge tourist attraction. It was making tons of money, very popular beach, and now it's just wrecked. Nobody visits it anymore. The town's gone to just a complete dump, and the evil corporation Pufferfish is an oil company that caused this devastation, and they're trying to find a way to basically kick out the mayor, take over the town, and do their evil corporate stuff. So, which is, very much, if you've played Stardew Valley, is very similar. The only difference, though, I don't think you can side with the evil corporation in this one. In Stardew Valley, you actually could, with Jojo Mart. But in this one, nah, yeah, they're just evil. But of course, I always think it's fun in these games, like in Stardew Valley. I thought you could side with the company in this one, but they make the company just so blatantly evil, and it was just like, there's no way I could side with them. It was the same with like Stardew Valley. It's like no one sides with Jojo Mart because they're just so stinking evil. It's like, why do you need to make them? But yeah. But there actually is a bit more to the story as well. There is a lot of spiritual aspects in this game. There is an island goddess who, because of this devastation, has lost her power. So you're trying to heal the island so she can return. And of course, there's also some merfolk that don't trust the land dwellers, that you need to gain their trust. But Liz is a big Stardew Valley person. Did the story hook you any different from Stardew?
Not really. So it's hard because in Stardew they have like the wizard, the
Yeah,
whole witch
and
aspect, and here
The
we have
little sprites called Jujus? Is that what they were called?
something like that. But
Yeah.
and then here we have the giants and the mer people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar. I haven't gotten to know the characters as well. There's so much to do when you first start this game.
Yeah.
And I kind of push that. I love Betty though. I think that Betty is like the main thing that I'm invested in this game.
I'm invested in Betty.
Yes, I'm
Betty.
invested in our friendship.
She's the old lady.
I had a
Betty's
nana
so
named
nice.
and
Hey, Nettie.
she was the nana that I always spent time with. And then there's this like older woman named Betty, and I can't. But yeah, so
I remember as soon as you saw her, you're like, Betty, and you're like, I need to give her presents.
yeah. But I don't think I've gotten as invested because I haven't developed the friendships yet. So I think that will happen because that's the thing with Stardew. It's like you love certain people. You can also build romantic relationships.
Yep.
Which immediately there's this guy that is just so rude to me, and the angel's like, oh wait, no, like he gets better. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys have any romantic interest in the game yet?
I did. What about you, Keith?
You did? Past tense?
Oh no, I guess I still do. I mean, I guess, but I want to hear Keith's because I remember the last time we had a game with romantic options was my time in Portia, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
And you picked the worst person.
You say that. You say that. I don't remember the names. I know there's the twins that ran the inn, and what was it? The food truck.
No, the twins. They ran the inn. Suki and Alice.
Alice. Yes, Alice. Yep. And then.
Well, you're into both of them.
I mean, whichever one would really give me the time of day.
See, I learned my
Honestly.
lesson to not marry a twin.
Wow.
I'm joking.
But so, if we're gonna kind of dip our toes into a little bit of gameplay, now, as I said, I think I probably only played 10, 11-ish hours. So I was into summer. I was in summer. A note about me and the style I play of these games. It's not that there's too much to do and that it's overwhelming and I don't know what's going on. I know everything that I'm supposed to do. I don't know how to focus on all of them at the same time. So basically my first month, I spent the majority collecting bugs.
So you didn't even start farming?
I did some farming.
Oh, yeah.
I did because well, we'll talk about that. But I did do some farming. But I got to like level 30 in the dungeon, I think. Got pretty far within the diving. But I don't think I made a single friend. I got one heart because I got something for somebody. But all that to say is I do a lot of things, but I don't do little bits of everything all together because I don't do well of keeping track of like, oh, it's this person's birthday, because then I have to track that person down and I'll spend like half of my day tracking that person down, and then I don't know how to spend the rest of my day. So I basically commit every day to doing like one task. Like today's going to be a dungeon day and I'm going to go there just about until I pass out, and then I'm going to come home. Tomorrow's going to be a farming day, and then the next day is going to be a people day. I don't multitask well in these styles of games.
Wait.
And this is where I go so perilously slow almost.
Keith, you should have talked to me earlier.
So you got to summer because you just got the achievement, because I checked the achievements earlier today and then today again because I knew I thought Andrew had gotten some. You just shipped 100 crops and you're in summer?
Yeah, that's
really,
pretty inefficient.
That's because like, how are you making your money?
Just selling whatever
Bugs?
I can find. Scraps, bugs, flowers.
That's really
Trust me,
inefficient.
I did it, and this is the thing. Like when you asked me earlier, Andrew, you were like, "Oh, did you play this?" I have. Legitimately have put a lot of hours into this game. I am just so horribly inefficient. But the one thing that I will say about this style or this genre, because there's a lot of genres like survival horror, I don't manage well with it. I get frustrated. I get bored. I don't with this style. I won't fully dive into it the way that you guys do, but I can easily sit down and play for an hour or two and enjoy my time with it. And I like that because I can always come back to it. And it's just a very relaxed, no pressure style of gameplay.
So I have plenty of beginner tips here. I'm going to sprinkle throughout the episode, but since you mentioned it, Keith, my first one, it's very important. So as I said, the Coral Island does so well. It has so many quality of life improvements that it took a long time for Stardew Valley to come out with. So I remember one of the biggest complaints of Stardew Valley is, yes, it's someone's birthday. I want to give them a present. Where the heck are they? I don't know where they are. And you spend, as Keith is here, apparently spending all day just looking for this NPC. In Coral Island, the map, first of all, will show you in real time where people are. So you can scour the map, which pauses the game time, look for the person is, but there's actually an easier way. If you actually open the relationship tab where it lists all the characters you met and you click on that person's player card and you hit right stick, it's a different button on PC. We obviously played on console, but at the very bottom of the screen, it even tells you this. It says hit the right stick and it'll actually open the map and show you directly where that person is. incredibly easy and super convenient. Anytime I'm doing a quest and you're trying to turn in that errand, I just open that player's card, click the right stick, there he is. It's so nice. So that is going to be my first tip. I have plenty of more because there's a good amount of stuff that this game doesn't quite tell you that just makes things so much easier.
I did know you could see them on the map, but I
Mhm.
didn't know you could have that like quick find feature. That's
Yeah.
super nifty.
I had to teach Liz it like 3 times because she
Yeah, I
forget.
kept forgetting. But yeah, looking at Andrew play, he's ridiculously efficient.
Yeah.
Where I feel like we're all like different levels. I feel like I'm in the middle where I like the multitasking aspect, but there's sometimes where it's just like I want to do everything at once. So it's like, I need the kelp in order to make sprinklers because I just want farming to be easier so I don't have to focus on it. But then at the same time, it's like, well, I'm down there with my, what is this, scythe?
Yep.
I always second guess how to say that. But then I'm like, well, I want to upgrade that, which
Well,
means
actually,
I
it's
need
a
to go to the
sickle.
mines.
A scythe is a longer handle, but anyway, tomato.
Well, yeah, whatever it is. So
Actually, I
then,
don't think it's listed as scythe. Anyway, sorry.
It is listed as a scythe.
yeah, so then I want to get the ores. And then, of course, you want to give
You knocked over your phone.
you want to give gifts people and fishing. I think the fishing I want to say is a little better.
Lame.
It is, but at the same time, like with Stardew, I felt like you are more likely to lose the fish.
Yeah, it was harder.
But one thing that I think that this game does not do as great, it is the biggest hang up that I have with this game. It's the mines.
Yeah.
The monsters are so easy, and
Well, the mines are fine. It's the combat that kind of sucks.
well, no, because it's all of it for me.
No, that's true.
Because I feel like you know exactly what you're going to get when you go into each level. And so like with Stardew, you had days where like, oh, today is a lucky day versus unlucky day. But for me, like going down, I was like, I know there's probably going to be like 4 or 5 things with the ores, maybe a vein. There's barely any gems. I'm on like the 3rd mine area. And the combat, like you don't even really have to worry about getting injured at all. So I just think overall the mining is not as fun. I want a little bit of a challenge. Like
Yeah,
it's good that
the mines are a little boring.
yeah, it's accessible, but at the same time it's like, well, make it harder when you go down. Like I want to be able to, find like a better weapon and or buy one. So cuz they have that whole like is guild the right word?
Yeah, no, it was a guild.
They have this like
I think it was
hideout.
called like Band of Smiles. It was a really dumb name for the guild.
Yeah, and there's a hideout, and there's people that fight monsters down there and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like there isn't enough of that. Same with like I don't even think they have like the board that that tells you how many monsters you killed.
No, but it does keep track. You can actually there is your player card, and it'll actually keep track of how many monsters of what type of monster you killed.
Yeah.
It's a whole bestiary. That's what it is. But no, it doesn't give you like rewards for it. But Liz, to go back though, you never said who you were trying to romance.
I don't know.
Betty?
See,
No, you unfortunately can't romance any old people in this game.
I feel like
Oh.
there's a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
Like Pablo, he does a lot of
He's the
community
blacksmith.
service. He volunteers for everything. But then at the same time, it's like I love Alice. She loves to read and she believes in aliens, which I'm not saying I believe in aliens. I'm like,
Which is kooky.
yeah, I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. I feel like we would have a lot to talk about. And then I also, like Andrew pointed out, they have her twin sister, which she's single because she's divorced, right?
Yeah, she's a single mother.
And a lot of people online are like praising the game because it shows that she has stretch marks, which I thought was
Yeah.
really cool. So I don't know. I feel like I talk to the ladies more, but I don't know.
See, this is one thing I think Coral Island does better than Stardew. Like, Stardew's not bad, but I feel like half of the NPCs in Stardew I could care less about. Specifically the guys. I felt like they were all just like one was emo, one was just kind of a jerk, one was a jock. Like they were just really kind of generic, and I just didn't care for them. Even some of the females, like. But in Coral Island, there is a significant amount of people. I want to say you have like 24 options of romance, and there's like 30 something citizens that you just become friends with. And majority of them are actually very interesting. They all are very unique in their kind of own style, you know, and what job they're doing and their appearance. You know, like you have a girl who's having the computers, you have one who's having the volleyball, you know, Alice, who's a big reader. Yeah, there's just like I felt like the cast was quite diverse, and it was actually I found it because like the overall story in Coraline, as I said, it's pretty generic, but I was enjoying like the characters' stories. When you know when you get enough hearts for them, like in Stardew Valley, you every once in a while stumble upon a cutscene and you kind of learn more about these characters and their problems and their issues. And it was actually pretty entertaining. But yeah, my romance choice was Chime. I think her name was Chaim, Chaem. I don't know how it was
Oh
pronounced,
yeah.
but she was the jock. She was the volleyball. The volleyball jock. But I liked her because she first was kind of like rude to you at first, but then as I like uncovered more of her story, she reminded me of like she was a jock who was just taking too much on her shoulders. She was the team captain and was bringing everyone to the playoffs, and she relied, you know, she expected everyone to like, you know, follow her lead, and she felt like, you know, she needed to lead by example. I felt her story was kind of complex, and I was like, and she was easy to romance because she liked pizza. So I was like, cool, I'll just buy you a slice of pizza, and easy way to get hearts.
I haven't gotten to know her at all, but I do think it's funny that she is the complete opposite of me.
Well, that's why I was like, when I first originally picked Alice, I was like, ah, she's a twin. Been there, done that.
You said you thought she was boring.
I actually did. I was like, because every time I kept talking to her, she never really said anything that interesting. Yeah, she said she reads and that she helps with the inn, but I was like, okay, what else? Like, what else is going on with you? I didn't mean to, but I was very close to romancing Sookie, the single mother. I felt like I would just like give her a piece of broccoli and she would get like 3 hearts, and I was like, okay. Apparently, like I don't know what I'm doing, but she at any time I felt like every other day she was liking me more and more. But no, the characters like overall were just a lot of fun. But yeah, I want to go back to you a little bit too, as you said with the mines, Liz. The mines are pretty disappointing comparative to Stardew Valley, because I do remember in Stardew Valley. Well, it's kind of a double edged sword because nothing was more frustrating in Stardew Valley than dying in the mines, and you would lose part of your items and a significant amount of money, end your day, and it was just like such a pain
No,
in
you
the
could
butt.
start the day over.
Yeah, you could, I guess, cheat that way, but it was just I don't know. At least in this, I felt it was pretty efficient. I felt like I only needed to hit a couple ore and it would give you a significant amount of the resource you need to like start creating bars and upgrading your items and stuff like that. So I really liked that. But also what I liked about it is like as generic as the mines were, they kind of doubled it by also giving you diving, which is relatively similar to the mines except there's no enemies and it's just you're still kind of doing the same task of you're at the bottom of the ocean, you're clearing out trash, you're looking for an item to open up the next area, which is very similar to how the mines work. But I liked it. The mines and the diving are very tedious, but I did not get bored with them at all.
But for me, like the big thing is with Stardew, when you go to the mines, every once in a while you'll get to a floor and you're like, yes. Like you see like all the gems and you see that there's a bunch more ore.
So then you
So
get to a monster floor. And those then you're like, oh.
yeah, but it costs less to do the stairs in Stardew, right? Because I think it's like 199 for this game and 99 for Stardew, right?
I don't know, you would know better than I would.
I
You played
might
Web 1 and
be
Stardew.
wrong with that, but I think it takes more stone in this game. But also, like, I mean, yeah, I it lacks like the excitement for me. But the diving I do really like, especially because you don't really fish, you use a net, but you're getting creatures and stuff down there.
Yeah.
So and for me, like it's also like you're kind of trying to clear the path as it comes, and so I think the diving is a bit more fun than the mines in this game,
Huh?
which is weird because I don't like being underwater in games, but
Same. I always hate underwater levels.
No, it's funny you say that because I had this whole thought in my head as I was doing the diving. It was that this is really cool, and I think this is a neat aspect in addition to the game, and I do still think it's a unique addition. But where I'm kind of torn is that outside of it just being a unique environment, all you're doing is walking around for the most part with a sickle, clearing things out,
Yep.
which is what I did on my farm,
Yep.
clearing out grass. and garbage and other things, and in particular, I'm just hunting for one of those things to hopefully drop a thing. Now, did I still kind of like it? Yes, I'm not even knocking on it. I just, when I think about it a little bit, it's actually not that fun.
I mean, well, when you think about just about any cozy game,
This is fair.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
the base gameplay of any cozy game is tedium. You're collecting things, you're clearing things, and that's it. But it's that just endorphin spike you get of just like seeing the satisfaction of like your work. I mean, you could kind of argue with like looter shooters of you fighting the same boss over and over again, hoping to get that gun you were looking for. So, I mean, but it's just the fact that there's so much to collect, so much to explore in Coral Island that it hooked me. Because I totally understand where you didn't do well, Keith, of like your farming. Because yeah, as you mentioned, there's bugs you got to catch, there's fish you got to catch. You know, you got to do the diving, you got to do the mining. You know, you got to work on the goddess temple. You have to work on the relationships. You have to work on your farm. You have to clear your farm. Like, there's just so many. And then there's all the festivals, which has multiple mini games to it. There's a lot to do in Coral Island, and I loved it.
There's also like little side things too that help you. So for instance, like when you get the kelp essence and the fossils, then you do stuff with the lab as well.
Yep. Yeah. There's a
Um,
museum you build up.
Yeah, and so like the fossils, you uncover what those are, and you can donate those. But yeah, and then you're also like you're using the kelp essence to get like better quality crops, and so even like stuff like that, it just keeps adding to like how much you're doing. The fast travel makes that so much easier
Yeah.
though, because
You get a fast shovel pretty early.
yeah, especially compared to Stardew. And there's so many places that you can fast travel to. So I'm in the first year. I'm at the very end of fall. Like I think I'm on the last day of fall. So winter's tomorrow. I'm so excited. Um, wait, what was
Well,
I saying?
you bring up a point. So you're excited for winter. This is how I know like Coral Island's a really good game and has a lot to do. I remember in Stardew Valley, I hated winter because all you could do was essentially was the mines. That was it. It's a mining day or fishing. And like that was it. And I just remember being like, it's winter. I just want to blow through this. I was going to bed at like noon just to end the day. You know, if you get the greenhouse, you can do some farming, but it was very little do. In this, I was super busy the entire month of winter, and it was awesome. I loved winter. It really pushed me all my researching. There's so much more to research and to unlock and to gather resources. It hooked me. I loved winter.
I also like too, I went to the furniture place, which I haven't really done much with my house except for change the design.
Same.
Because I've been so busy, like I
Yeah.
want to, but looking at like the outdoor furniture stuff that you can do, like there is so many ways
Yes.
to make your farm beautiful. And I want to say that I think that there's a really cool not feature, like graphically they show like a crow come when you like, because I have like one line that doesn't have the scarecrow, but I'm like, might as well wait. The crow comes, and when he leaves, there's little crow prints, and it's so cute. I'm like, I don't care that you just stole my
It's
plant.
preference.
Yes, and I also remember too in Stardew, another thing that they took from Stardew is like, there's an earthquake in the middle of the night, or your crops grow faster in the middle of the night, and so it's even little things like that that they take from Stardew
Oh yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
kind of like blows my mind. That's like, you did
there's
that too.
there's even some quest in Stardew Valley. The mayor loses his shorts. In Coral Island, the mayor loses his hat. So it's like there's like
Oh,
quests.
I haven't gotten that. Is it
Yeah.
in a lady's house?
I haven't found it yet. I didn't look it up yet.
You should check the ladies' houses.
Yeah, yeah. That would be pretty funny.
That
But,
mayor. It's in Betty's house.
Oh, I
Go
gotta check-
Betty.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just I love like the way you're describing this is. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought here. The thing you brought up, Liz, of it actually is a feature of. Oh wait, no, you mentioned something else, but it brought up something I wanted to talk about, and that is I love the customization in this game. In Stardew Valley, it's very pixelated graphics, so the graphics aren't as good. But in this, it's very 3D, really nicely done. You can customize so much in this game, and I loved it. as Liz was saying, there's outdoor furniture. Like you can create full on gazebos, archways. Like, and when you go to the shop, it actually has a whole palette of this is what it looks like in a farm. This is how you can set it up. There's different themes, modern, like rustic, country. Your character too. You could buy tons of different clothes. You can change how your house looks. I love the customization in this game. There's a lot I could praise with this game.
And I'm finding that because I'm not as efficient as you are, but having played Stardew, like I feel like I've learned a lot, and so I'm progressing faster than I did with Stardew. And so where I'm at now, I'm like, I actually do have a bunch of money where like I can upgrade things if I want. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I know things are going to cost more money later on, and I should not be too spendy. But
yeah, save your money for winter.
yeah.
I had like 60K when I got into winter, and I blew it all within like a week.
Well, because it's like I want to upgrade my barn, because I didn't want to focus on animals right away, because you have to like pet them every day to make them happy.
Ugh,
and then you have
pay
to like
attention to
collect
animals.
everything. Yeah, and then it's like I want to be at the mines, I wouldn't feel that way if they were real farm animals. Like if I lived on a farm, I'd be
You say
like,
that.
come give me what? You don't like farm animals?
But if you had to
I don't
pet
know,
the
I'm
animal
happy.
every day,
I would love it.
Individually.
I mean, have a smaller farm. I wouldn't have like 5 cows, 5 sheep, 5 chickens. And I
They
also
aren't
love the
free.
name customization for the animals too. So, which Andrew was telling me that you can name them anything.
yes.
Um,
Yeah. If you're very immature like me, this is I really like this in this game, but there is no language filter at all. So if you really want to be immature with your character name, your pet names, this game lets you do it. I remember in Stardew, even when it first came out, I remember it being pretty heavy with like editing your name. Like if you did something inappropriate, it would just put stars on it. Not in this game. In this game, you can do whatever you want.
you tried a bunch.
I did.
I more tried to be like, not do bad words, but like I did for my sheep,
I was experimenting to see if
um,
I had limits.
Bart, but it's like Ba Art, stuff like that. But yeah, I was very surprised at the things that you tried that you could do.
Way cheekier and funnier. Well, I mean, I didn't ever owned any animals. I couldn't get up enough money there, because I was not farming appropriately. Um, but yeah, I had actually I forgot I had shared it in our Discord. I forgot that I had named my town Penisburg.
Oh my gosh.
So I like opened up one of the menus and I was looking at it and it just that came up on my screen. And it was a very pleasant surprise. I laughed to myself because again, very mature, very very mature.
So I went a little more tame with my character name, and I named him Fart Face, which is actually pretty funny because I also did like capital letters. So it actually looks like people are just like dissing me whenever they call to me. They're like, "Hey, Fart Face."
Hey, fart face.
See, I did my usual tulip, because I never know what to name my character. But I did and this is before. I think you actually suggested it. I could be wrong, but before I even saw Betty, I named my farm Alfalfa
Yeah, I
Farms
suggested
because
it.
I used to drive by Alfalfa Farms with my Nana all the time.
Yep.
Which, yeah, my Nana's name Betty.
Oh.
See,
Nana Betty.
I thought there was going to be more boating in this game, so I originally named my farm Boats and Hoes because it plays for farming and fishing.
I also wanted to bring up too. So with the farm animals, you can also get a horse, and Andrew brought up a good point where I feel like you wouldn't need one.
Yeah.
And actually, when you're walking around, you're also collecting bugs and stuff. I feel like it would kind of hinder you. So I wonder if the horse is just for like roaming around the farm. Because yeah, I don't think I would want to use it.
Maybe. I mean, it specifically says the horse helps with travel. So that's, as far as I can tell, I think that's what the only horse is for, is to just make you go faster.
I mean, maybe you're not really too concerned with catching bugs by the time you get the horse for travel, or when you use the horse, you're just not really thinking much about it. But I
True.
can see where. I don't know. Did you get one? Is it
No.
easy to mount and dismount it? Maybe it's not a very difficult thing, or you can catch from the horse.
Ooh.
Who knows? Like drive-by butterfly snaggings.
But yeah, speaking of the map though, Liz, I know you obviously played a lot of Stardew Valley. How does this map compare?
It's very similar.
You think so?
I mean,
It's
the way
very
that it's
small in
laid.
comparison, isn't it?
I think it's bigger.
No, I think it feels bigger, but and also like with Stardew, like it actually doesn't line up geographically. So like, for instance, like you walk towards the edge of the screen and like if it was a real life, it would not match up with where it was on the map. It would be like too long or too short. Like
Oh yeah,
yeah. And
I
so
see what you're saying. Yeah.
with this one, I didn't immediately find that at all, but I think it's oh my gosh, I love the map. It's so easy to just get wherever you want to go.
Did you
Especially
have a
with
hard time navigating?
Um,
You always struggle with navigation.
do you know what? Everything is on me with that because, for instance, like the carpenter, I would keep thinking it was like where the vineyard was, but that's just my bad memory. And I feel like right now I have like a good idea
So you
of where
found the
everything
map
is.
easier to learn.
Yeah, but I also just like I love walking around and collecting the different things. So I feel like Stardew's easier to because it is smaller
And it's
and
loading screens for sections, while this is just all one map.
and also there's just more on the screen. The different foliage and the carpentry place has a bunch of stuff outside of it. There's a recycling center which I'll accidentally go down to sometimes. There's just a lot more, so Stardew's easier to navigate, but I definitely think they did a great job with it.
What you think of the map, Keith?
I was just thinking something about it that I completely forgot. Overall, no, and I don't know, and I could be wrong, but I still felt like it was smaller, and I think part of that has to do with the fast travel. And I know you guys talked about it a little bit already, but being able to just bounce around and to, I mean, in most cases, pretty specific places in the map that you wanted to be or needed to be, just made it feel like I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time traversing the map. It's I don't think I got lost. I would go the wrong way and be like, ah, crap. But it's one of those things that, like Liz said, almost with the recycling center. Sometimes you just turn down and go, oh, well, no, I meant to go down the next one. And what did I lose? 20 seconds of time. It's not
And
like it
Betty's
was
down
this
there a
big.
lot. Say hi to
What's
her.
that?
Betty's
Oh,
down
okay.
there a lot, so you can say hi to her.
All right, what's up, Betty? But yeah, overall, I didn't think it was like I was getting lost. I would just take the wrong turn occasionally, and then I would just pull up the map and recorrect if I needed to, or fast travel for the most part.
Yeah, see, all right. So for me, as I said, I like this map a lot. I thought it's well designed. At first, when I first started playing this game, I thought it was a little confusing. But once you really start to remember landmarks, as my two co-hosts are saying, I thought it was very easy to navigate. But there's a lot of so I've completed 1 year, and there's still a lot of different paths that look kind of incomplete. I know there's some other things I can unlock, but it definitely looks like they are setting up to expand this game significantly. Like there was actually one area I knocked a rock down and it brings you up this mountain, and when you get to the top, there's nothing there. But it definitely looks incomplete because there's like a bush that's floating improperly. Like it just looks flat. So I could definitely tell that they're setting this area up for later content to come out. And there's a whole underwater area. Eventually you meet some mermaids and they have a whole kingdom. They even give you a place to live. But from where I'm at the moment, there's not too much to do down there. I know there's some shops that you can unlock later, but it to me once again feels like they're setting up for more significant content down the road. So that's what I like, is that I feel like this map is really well designed and set up for a lot more possibilities. Like I'm pretty sure there is in Stardew Valley, you unlock the desert, which has a harder dungeon, and I'm pretty sure you can get this as well in Coral Island. You just have to unlock a lot of things in the temple, which I'm close at, but not quite there. But yeah, so I really like the design of the map, and graphically, it's really good. But I forgot to mention, I had another pro tip for the mines. I don't know if you noticed this, Keith, but I pointed this out to Liz. But whenever you're doing the mines, if you look on the ground, you will see a slight crack in the ground that kind of looks like a spider web, and it's a actual ore vein. You just got to hit it with your pickaxe, and it starts to spread out, and eventually you get a big mother load of ore. So always look on the ground for these little cracks.
I have a noob tip.
Ooh.
Because I'm just putting it out there because I always forgot to do it, and you were always saying, Liz, you have a skill point. And so we didn't talk about that, right?
No, not yet.
Yeah, so different things like with farming, mining, fishing.
Yeah.
If you do it enough, you get a skill point. And so like sometimes it's like you'll have, like this isn't exact. I don't remember the percentage, but like 10% better chance of getting double ores or getting double kelp or whatever. And so, Keith, did you?
Did you? You did not know you had skill points, Keith? You know when it leveled up and said
like...
+1 skill point, you didn't think anything of it?
I don't think I read that clearly. I would see that like I'd get a stamina bonus and be like, cool, okay, I'm just gonna focus on doing more of that thing. I never ever saw the skill point thing because I just flew straight past it, and I could not tell you where to do the skill points. I bet I could find it if I went looking now that I know it exists. But nope. I don't know how much it would have changed.
It changes actually quite a bit. They're pretty helpful.
And I'm not even saying I think I still am just so inefficient in my gameplay that I still probably wouldn't be like worlds better. But boy, I considering I figure over time I probably will still pick this up here and there. That will be very noteworthy for me.
And I have another noob tip. So in Stardew, if people see you going through the trash cans, they think that you're disgusting. I haven't had anybody react, and I do it in front of people all the time. But you can find like food.
Love digging through trash.
Yeah, you can find food, stuff that needs to be donated.
You find bugs.
Yeah,
fish,
stuff that need like whenever I find it, it's stuff that I haven't donated yet, which is really helpful.
Yep.
But yeah, the energy in this game, like I feel like I'm never out of food that gives me energy. I'm gifted it. I get it in the mines. Yep. I find it in trash cans, and I feel like it works better than what was in Stardew. So like when you use like the maple stuff, the pine cones, and you create those bars. That's the word. I was like, it's gonna come to me when I'm talking, but it didn't. So when you make the bars, I feel like it doesn't last like at all for energy. But even like the smallest thing, I think gives you enough energy that you can, really get far. Yeah. So it's all really helpful. But yeah, those trash cans. And in worst case scenario, they give you trash, which then you can use to
trash is actually valuable in this game.
Yeah, compost. Yeah. You can do scrap.
Scrap. Yeah,
so I mean, there's always something good in there.
Pro tip: digging trash. Yeah. That's also for a real life tip.
I was kind of the same though, because it wasn't until I don't know, maybe day 15 or so that I actually realized I could start getting useful stuff in the trash. I just figured I would get more trash. So yeah, that is a very good tip to know that you can get useful items in the trash in Coral Island.
And in real life. My mattress is from the trash. It's not.
Again, this is the guy who should have gotten COVID from sharing a yogurt with somebody who already started eating it, a coworker. You're a disgusting human being. And
she took one bite.
No, you said she put the spoon back in.
Tips about going through the trash. That is a terrible idea.
Well, also,
trash is trash.
There's a difference between like dumpster diving, which I've never done, but there are people that make a ton of money with it.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between that and going through personal trash, which you do in the game. Think about all the gross stuff that you throw away in the trash.
It's true.
Imagine picking through that.
If you have a kid with diapers, that's all that really you need to say. It's disgusting.
So, and I also think it is like such an invasion of privacy. Imagine if you saw somebody rip open your bags in your trash outside and started going through it. I would feel so gross. Not thinking like the person's gross, but like I would feel like it's like violating to think about someone like knowing that much about you.
In all honesty, I actually did have a bit of a dumpster diving age. I was like 9 years old. We had some friends that lived in like an apartment complex area. Like it was a big one. So they had multiple of the big green bin, trash cans. And I mean, we were kids, and I remember because we found like one thing once, and yeah, it was me, my brother, and two of our friends. So it wasn't just me. Yeah,
I
we
didn't
actually
know
went,
that.
and I remember we found like some toys and stuff like that. We're like, Mom, look, we found some sweet stuff in the trash.
Were you going through the bags though?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
that's
think we were
different.
pretty like loosely going in the dumpsters.
Yeah.
Andrew was grabbing snacks.
no,
Don't lie. Don't lie,
no,
you were grabbing snacks.
no. But we did find a sweet couch that we actually took out in the woods, and that was like our hangout couch.
Well, it's also, I mean, when it comes to dumpster diving, especially when it comes to like food and stuff, or there's so many different things that get recalled
Yeah.
and stuff, so that it's like it's actually dangerous to do it for like essentials or something that you consume. But I think most people do it for like outside of malls.
Well, yeah, because if you go outside of business, like I've worked for like I remember when I worked at Lowe's, like we throw away like you'd throw away just perfectly good product, but it was just like I think they got credit, the store got credit for it, and the company didn't want it, so you would just throw it away. Like I know that stores throw fully functional, just fine products
Mm-hmm.
that they can't have on their shelf anymore. As you said, there might be like a recall issue, and the factory doesn't want it, so they just say throw it away.
Our show has officially become a danger.
Yeah, I know.
Andrew, encouraging people to go through the dumpsters. Please don't listen to Andrew. This
I'm
is
not
encouraged behavior by the Game
encouraging.
Pass Grab Bag podcast.
Way to
Not
forget our
condoned or
podcast name
endorsed.
for a second there, Keith.
I'm sorry. I'm just concerned that people are gonna be going through dumpsters in our name, courtesy of Andrew.
Yeah, so the cops are arresting them. They'll mention us, and we're gonna
Yeah.
get in trouble here. Okay. Yes, don't actually dumpster dive.
If everyone tells a friend, including the arresting officer, when you're dumpster diving,
You know what? Yeah, that's free advertisement, Keith. They can tell the cop about us, and there we go. Those are potential new listeners. They
gosh, we still haven't talked about music or graphics.
We did. Andrew mentioned that the graphics were nice.
a little bit, but there's still a lot we could touch on. One quick thing on the gameplay. So he talked a little bit about
There
the
was
animals.
a good transition.
Well, there was
Keith.
something
Because we
I
haven't.
wanted to ask you guys. You know, every one of these cozy games, all year you get animals, but you never kill the animals. You can sell them every once in a while, but it's just like it's not a real farming game, I guess, unless you can actually like farm animals, right?
Maybe everyone's vegan.
Yeah.
No, because people eat fish and stuff.
Yeah.
Vegetarian.
Yeah, you can eat the fish, it's fine.
I mean, but
You
they're all
know-
animal lovers because I mean, you adopt pets in this game.
We forgot to mention pets. The pets, okay, well, the
They have a
pet
pet
mechanic
adoption.
is pretty lame, but man,
Well,
you
you
got
said
an
you
awesome
think
selection
your
of pets.
dog is stuck in the house, Andrew.
I know. I want to let
There's
him
so
out.
many glitches in this game.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up too, Liz.
There's so much to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, forget my last question.
Music's fine, graphics are fine. Well, let's just keep talking about gameplay.
But also, no, I don't just want to butcher farm animals in a game. Is that what you're asking? It's not interesting to me.
See, that was going to be my thing. You know, I like to roast you about games and bad decisions, and I don't have anything against eating animals and all of that. So I'm not even saying like it shouldn't do that for any moral purpose. But it is a little weird to me when you're like, I just wish I could kill the animals in my game.
Well,
It's
like,
a weird thing to say. That's
Okay,
all
okay.
I'm saying.
so where I'm coming from at this point, I've been playing some Baldur's Gate 3, okay? And in Baldur's Gate 3, you can do just
This
about
game is not
anything.
Baldur's Gate
I
3.
know, but it spoiled
This
me.
Game is
But
not
why would you
Baldur's Gate
give
3.
love and get hearts from animals and then because I don't think most people who butcher animals on their farm grow a relationship with their animals.
And that's understandable.
That's not
Okay,
entirely
well-
untrue, I don't think either.
I'm just saying, I just like to me, I just wish there was a bit more of a you can play that way. You know, some people in the community may not like you for what you're doing, but it's just like it would be nice to have, I guess, options is what I'm saying.
They don't like that you commit animal slaughter live in town center
I'm
as
not
some sort of
saying-
live sacrifice to the merfolk. They have a problem, but
Are you
what, have a
naming the
little bit of
animals? Like this?
ritualistic murder? You have something against that? Grow up, Karen.
No, okay, well, at least in Stardew Valley, you could breed the animals and therefore sell off the offspring. You can't even do that in this game, though. So
Do they breed?
Not that I could see.
Oh, okay.
Even when I upgraded my
You
barns.
see?
Yeah, I did. Not actually see them, but not. I didn't see an option to
But you
reproduce them.
sounded excited about talking about glitches.
Yes. Oh, so okay. I feel like we've been talking so much good about this game, but we got to go a little bit on the negative. So this game just recently hit the 1.0 patch. It was in early access for about a year. It hit Game Pass PC, and I tried a little bit in Game Pass PC, but I only played like a week because I was like, I'm gonna wait till this game finishes. But I like what I see. But yeah, so it hit at 1.0 patch, and unfortunately, there is a significant amount of bugs. So, and you'll see that on like the Microsoft Store of people who give this game a bad review because they've already improved a good amount of them. There was one, I didn't want to start this game until they fixed it, but if you hit 10 donations to Museum, there was a cinematic that instantly crashed your game. No matter what, there was nothing you could do about it. So it's like that just makes the game really unplayable. From what I encountered for the bugs that are still there, they're frustrating, but it didn't kill the game for me. I could at least warn people now. Hopefully when you play this, they'll fix it. I don't recommend doing the fall festival, the harvest festival. That will crash your game. It starts at 1900 as well. So it's like later in the day, and it almost always crashed my game. You can maybe, if you're quick, get through it, but I just say skip it until they fix it.
It's been like that for a while because
Yeah.
you played that like way before I did, and
Yeah.
it's still, and you can't get your rewards and you can't get your crops back or it'll crash on you. So but you get merit points for participating.
Yeah.
So you can still do like the different challenges and stuff and get
Yeah.
the merit points.
Yeah.
But
So
that's frustrating.
besides that, there were the bugs are kind of inconsistent. There would just be things that would crash the game. I never really quite knew what was doing it. It was always just inconsistent as what it would just you'd be playing and then boop, game closes.
I had a cutscene glitch.
Oh, that's right. Oh, the Winter Festival. There's another bug. It doesn't crash your game, luckily, but there's a trivia game, and when you click on it, the dialogue box is just blank. You can't select anything. Nobody's saying anything. You can luckily exit it, so it's not a game-killing bug. But yeah, there's a good amount of bugs going on, but they're definitely in the process of fixing it up. So hopefully by the time you listen to this, maybe they might have a hot fix patch coming out soon.
Andrew, I want to tell you, because you watched me play the fall festival, the first attempt that I did it before it crashed. I did so much better when you weren't watching me with the pumpkins.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to you. We didn't talk about the festivals. I love the festivals in this game. Anytime every festival in this game was significant. In Stardew Valley, I felt like half of them were a throwaway. It was usually just like, oh, like the dancing flower festival. You go there and talk to the people, and there's a cutscene of you dancing with somebody, and it was just like, okay, this is kind of pointless. The festivals in Coral Island are awesome. Everyone has a mini game, multiple mini games. They're usually pretty varied. They're pretty simple, but they always felt worth my while to go to these festivals.
I will say the Harvest Festival, though, like my display was so much better than that arrogant you know what, and he wins
No,
no
I don't
matter
know what.
what. What?
I don't know what.
Jerk.
And same with like the swimming one. I'm assuming you have to up your character's stamina,
Yep.
and stuff. So no matter what, the first year you're not going to do very well.
Yeah. But anytime you go to these festivals, yes, Liz said, you get these merit points, which you can spend to upgrade your character more. But easy way to improve relationships with people, you just talk to them. You don't even have to give them presents. If you just go up and keep mashing A and talking to everyone in the town, they like you. That's an easy way to gain hearts with people. It's just going up to them and talk to them. But yeah.
I thought there should be some people that don't, though. Like maybe there's someone who just that's not how they get to you. Maybe there's an errand they post and you do a thing for them. Or
You might be right.
Maybe
Because there
they
are
need a
some
gift.
people that get mad at you that basically tell you to go away. Mark, the one that Liz
Yeah.
thought was a jerk. He always calls you
Yeah.
He calls you garden rake, which that's not a thing. Is he subtly calling you a hoe?
No, I think he's just making a joke or making
What do you
the
mean
comment
there's-
because he's like
Because-
he's
Oh,
like
in
a
the
warrior
game.
Yeah, he calls you a
So-
garden rake, but there's no such thing
because
as a
you're a
garden rake.
farmer and so he just sees you as weak because you wouldn't carry a sword typically. You carry a rake.
Yeah. But I mean, we're the
It's a
ones
weird
opening up the
insult,
mind.
But there's no
though,
rake in the
so-
game is my thing that I'm saying.
I thought you
Yeah,
said there's no such
sure,
thing
I
as a
guess.
garden rake. I was like, there's garden rakes.
I mean, I guess sure, maybe he should call you something different, but otherwise, I don't think it's all that weird that he calls you that.
But yeah. So quickly, graphics. In Coral Island, I really like. I think the art style in this game is great. Every character actually has a full like cardboard cutout character image. In Stardew Valley, it was always just a character's like face portrait, but in this, you actually fully see the character. Everyone's outfit changes on the season or whether it's a
I love
festival.
that.
Yeah, everyone actually has. Everyone looks very unique. As Liz pointed out, Suki has stretch marks, which apparently a lot of people love. This game was a Kickstarter game, and when you upgrade the museum, there's under the basement. You know, if you were a Kickstarter, you have a statue and you could write something. And I actually saw some people say that I kickstarted this game because Suki had stretch marks. It's like, okay, that's apparently a big selling point for people. But it is like a nice detail that they added. Like these characters feel like real kind of characters. You know, you have one character
Yeah.
that's covered in tattoos.
I say that's a weird, I guess like a weird reason to kickstart something, but it is a very like unique and interesting detail, and I appreciate that they do that. So I'll credit them for it, but that's a weird thing to kickstart it. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess if you get the game too, then that's great.
But yeah, the like I said, there's a lot of customizations for your house, for your character. Some of your clothes you can get for your character are goofy, like a chicken suit or a shark outfit, you know. But you could also have some really nice, cool looking ones. Yeah, graphically, I love this game. And when you go to the ocean is really beautiful, really nice color palette. All the merfolk look really cool. Yeah, I love the graphics.
You're upset you can't romance them, but
I mean, yeah, well. Okay, well, yes and no. Once again, I just want more options. Let me romance a merfolk.
No
um,
comment.
I feel like you just want to get away from your spells for all. Be like, oh, I gotta go on land. Sorry.
yeah, can I have a land spouse and a water spouse?
That's not what I was getting at,
Oh.
but gross.
Again, no comment.
Uh,
No comment.
All right, what about music? Did you guys notice the soundtrack at all?
Nope.
Seriously, I like the music.
Do you know
I'm
what?
sure it was fine.
I yeah.
Oh,
I didn't notice it as much because like especially I feel like I kept the volume low because Piper fell asleep a couple times this week, and so I was like, oh, she's napping, and so I got to play, which I don't normally do. She doesn't normally nap. She must find me very exhausting this week, I guess.
I do.
But I also yeah, I just didn't really pay attention to it.
The music is very good. I like the soundtrack. It has a quite variety of it. Really just relaxing and calm. But once again, you don't have to listen to it. It's a cozy game. So if you want to listen to a podcast or anything else, there's no voice acting in the game. So yeah, you're free to turn the audio off if you want. But I actually thought the soundtrack was really good.
And then the achievements, if you like this style of game, I think that they're good because there are some that's like, oh, complete all of this, which is going to take time. But if
Yeah.
you like these games, and looking at ours, Andrew, you have a gamer score of 380 out of 1,000 with 19 out of 51. Keith, you have one achievement with 20 gamer score. And I have 11 achievements with 220 gamer score.
I actually like the achievements. The achievements did a good job peppering in like a little bit. There was a meme reference. I don't know if you guys caught that one.
No.
Yeah, it's one to get I think 10k gold and then to get 50k gold. So the first one's called It's Not Much, and the second one is But It's an Honest Living, which is a meme reference. I don't know if anyone's seen that of the farmer who says it's not
Oh, yeah.
much, but it's an honest living. And it was a farmer meme. But yeah, I like that. I thought that was actually kind of funny. But yeah, the achievements, like, they at least pepper in a good amount of just like, oh, get 5 hearts with one person, get 5 hearts with 5 people. So in Stardew, I remember most of the achievements were just getting all of the things. But yeah, this does have a good amount of get all the things. But the fact
Yeah,
that I
but-
got 380,
And not that they're bad achievements, but the majority of the achievements are just that. There's nothing about like, oh, completing the fall festival or completing
No.
this festival and that, and none of it's really story driven.
Yeah.
And that's where I haven't gotten there, and I'm sure there is sort of some ultimate ending, but ultimately this is one of those you just play on forever, and I don't know. There's kind of a story to it.
yeah. Which
I
I
don't call it
Stardew,
means to an end, but
which Stardew kind of has like an ultimate ending as well a little bit. There's a way to roll credits, but you can still keep playing. So I do like, because I know some people don't like that, where it's just like, well, I'm just playing this to play it. But no, there does feel like there's an actual ending in Coral Island, but yeah, I haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm assuming where you kick out pufferfish out of the town, because that's kind of what it's hinting at what you're trying to do.
I keep thinking of different topics that we could talk about, and I'm like, we've already been talking so much.
Yeah. Oh, and I thought of another pro tip. The scythe. So, Keith, I'm assuming you were harvesting your crops by just pressing A at everything.
no, I was using my scythe.
Oh, so you actually found that out. I did not realize that till later. I was thinking I was like in summer, so it was like already like halfway through, and I've actually swung my scythe, and I noticed that you can harvest your crops with the scythe. It will not damage ungrown crops, but it's an easy way. Instead of mashing A, you could just swing your sickle and just gather all the crops in the area. That I found to be so helpful.
I feel like Stardew did that, didn't
No,
it? And
not-
that's there's.
Did
I
it?
feel like there's got to have been a game that did it because I just tried it. Like I don't remember it telling me. I was just went, oh, I wonder if this works
I
because I only had a handful of crops planted at one point, and so I figured worst case they died. But yeah, I gave it a shot and it didn't hurt anything and harvested a couple. So
I don't remember Stardew having it. I'm not saying they didn't. I don't remember that, which is weird because I played so many hours.
Yeah.
But I remember loving when you could get those little huts and they would collect stuff for you. So I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
How do I not
I,
remember?
I, from what I remember, oops, sorry, I hit my mic. From what I remember is you used the scythe in Stardew for like the wheat, but because I remember you would click A on it, it says no, the scythe is required. But but I don't think you could do it on everything. But I don't quite remember either.
maybe not. But yeah, all that to say is I kind of just found it, no, like on purpose, but yeah, just trying it out basically.
What about you, Liz? What was the other little things you were thinking of?
Oh, well, with Stardew, you have like choices to make with the characters, and I don't remember if it affected your relationship, but it changed the cutscene, whichever way. Like someone like, oh, I remember in Stardew that the guy you're trying to be nice by lying, and he like yells at you for it,
Huh?
being a jerk. And this one, I saw a cutscene with you, and I was like, I kind of agree with both of them. But yeah, it didn't really seem to affect much. Sometimes I don't like decisions like that. Where it's like, who do you agree with? And I'm like, I like both of you.
So you don't like dialogue choices?
Not unless it's like, obvious of what it should be.
Yeah.
Because usually like if two people are arguing and they ask for like my opinion, even if I like, kind of agree more with one, I still try to like bring out like, oh, you make a good point. I personally, or like be Switzerland, if I'm not like,
See, I think it would be cool if you could play as an evil farmer. But anyway, that's
I
just
think
me.
of like Children of the Corn when you say evil farmer. I remember I cannot get over the name Malachi from that that movie. Like,
Sorry for any listeners out there named Malachi.
I think about the way that they say Malachi in it. Whenever I hear it or read Malachi, I just hear Children of the Corn.
But anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Before we get into more of my stuff, I want to give a shout out to a lot of our listeners. We have been getting, a good amount of people have been reaching out to us and saying hi. And for whatever reason, this past couple of weeks, we've been getting a lot of international people reaching out to us. So I really want to give a quick shout out to Alejandro from Argentina, Thomas from Hamburg, Germany, Pickle. I don't know if I'm assuming that's not your actual name, but he gave us an iTunes review. And he's from Great Britain. Curtis from Australia, always a big time fan from us. And then Until Chaos from Canada. So yeah, whatever reason, I've been getting a lot of more internationals. So all you international listeners out there, thank you so much. Well, honestly, just all of our listeners. I always love getting, like people reaching out and saying hi that they listen to us.
But I feel it's weird because like I want to know more about them, but
Yeah.
I don't want to like be like, tell me about your personal life or.
And it's
know?
always so weird. Like to me, it still feels weird that people listen to us. It still feels like yesterday where I'm like, I got excited when we just had like one download a day, but now like looking at it, it's like, man, like
Now we get 5 downloads a day.
Yeah, now we're international.
And then you find out they're from a place that you're like, oh man, that place sounds so cool, and you want to,
Yeah. Yeah, it's always interesting that people all around the world listen to us. So thank you all so much. Yeah, if you want to reach out to us, make sure you leave us a review wherever you listen to us, Spotify, iTunes. Always greatly appreciate it. Helps us out. Go to GamePassGrabBag.com. You'll see the links to all of our stuff. Our Discord. Come by, say hi. I added some prizes to our Discord. If you are in our Discord and you talk and hang out with us, interact with us, your account will level up. And if you hit certain milestones, you can get some prizes. I thought it'd be kind of nice. It's like a free-to-play game. The best free-to-play games are the ones where you can earn the rewards just by participating. So I thought that'd be kind of a fun thing to do in our Discord. But yeah, I've been your Hardcore Gamers, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird0952. Come by, say hi. I always love hearing from you. Sorry, Keith. I feel like we kind of shut you out this episode.
I think I interrupted Keith a lot too, and I feel bad. I'm sorry. I just get excited.
This is I kind of expected on these types of episodes, and it's weird because there's episodes where and again, I think like survival horror as a good example, where I'm like, I barely made it through any bit of this game, and I kind of did with this, but just on an efficiency level. Like I played a lot and did so little. But it was a good pick. I liked it. Is this our first episode?
But yes, it is.
The new year, yeah.
We didn't do scores.
I just thought of that. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I just completely skipped the score segment. But that's fine. Go ahead, Keith. Start it off.
Okay. How many years?
Coral Island is awesome.
Killing it.
I'm terribly inefficient. I maybe even more inefficient than Andrew hosting this podcast. But
I really wanted to give those shout outs.
It is a good time, but I think the biggest thing that I think I made my best summary at the beginning of this podcast is that if you haven't played Stardew Valley already, don't play Coral Island first. Not because it's worse, but because Stardew Valley it's really just the staple of this game style in so many ways, and they just do it best, I think. But if you've played Stardew Valley and you're looking for something else to do that is much like Stardew Valley, and you don't want to play Graveyard Keeper because that's a stupid game, then play Coral Island, and it's an 84.
So
I don't even know why I don't like Graveyard Keeper at this point.
I know.
I just don't.
You just
so many years.
And you pretend like the music isn't good too. Like I don't.
Is that something I hated? Yeah, the music is so bad. Hate it.
You're making me want to play it again so badly. It's been so long.
I feel like I should, but I'm afraid that I would like it, and
and you lose the shtick. But anyway, I would actually kind of slightly disagree with you, Keith. I don't think you can't go wrong with either of these. If you haven't played Stardew Valley or Coral Island, you can't go wrong with either of them. I will say another thing I forgot, that one thing that I think Stardew Valley does way better than Coral Island is that Stardew Valley has co-op, and once I started this game, I realized how much I missed co-op, because that was the first thing I thought about. I was like, man, this would be sweet to play with Liz, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're going to add it. They used to have a roadmap in the main game where you could actually look at. Right now it's blank, because they just hit the 1.0 patch. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's on their agenda to make this game co-op. But yeah, Stardew Valley has 4-player co-op, and it is really good. But yeah, you can't go wrong with either one.
Couch co-op? Sorry to interrupt.
It is. It has Stardew Valley is couch co-op and online. It's both.
Oh, I thought it was couch only.
No, it does both. Yeah. So yeah, but with Coral Island, I had a ton of fun with this game. It's a lot of copy of Stardew Valley, but Stardew Valley, it took like 3 years to get to the point that it's at. Coral Island just like hit its first year, and it's already there's a lot of content here.
But wasn't Stardew also one person originally?
Yeah.
Which I think is like fair to point out because it did take so long for it to.
It's not a knock against it, but it's just like, gamers today, we want our things done, and we want a lot of stuff, and we're very needy and greedy. So for what's here in Coral Island, there's a lot to do. And as I said, there's a lot of things I can see are kind of blueprints to what maybe they're coming out with. For what is here, I had a lot of fun. I played a good amount of this on xCloud. As a typical cozy game, unfortunately, it only saves whenever you end the day. So if you're someone who has to drop it right away, it can kind of suck. You could end up losing your progress. But overall, it works very well on the xCloud. I had no issues with it. Yeah, I love the characters, the graphics. The combat was a little weak. The pet is kind of lackluster. You have a lot of options for pets, including like an iguana, rabbits, various different animals. It's awesome. They just don't do anything. They just sit in the house and you pet them, and that's it. That's the end of that mechanic. So I'm sure they'll expand it. But yeah, for me, this is a 90. This is easily 90. The bugs kind of stink, but they weren't that bad once they got at least rid of the museum bug that crashed the game. But yeah, they're actively fixing it, so that's something that'll easily be fixed. But
I thought you said you liked it more than Stardew.
why? What did I give Stardew?
I don't know, but I thought it was more than a 90.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Keith, what was your score?
I didn't do
84.
Stardew Valley with you.
No, he did 84 for this.
Oh, 84 for this.
Sorry.
No, I worded that terribly. So if I remember correctly, I thought I gave Stardew a 97 or 98. The least would have been a 96. But I thought it was 97 or 98. So I think I'm gonna give this game a 97. Because I don't want to give it more than Stardew. Because I love this game, but I don't know if I'm gonna be like the obsession is gonna be the same. I think it is, but I also like.
I love your face. I think it is. Yeah, you just haven't had the time to be able to put into it like you did Stardew.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I mean our next week's game better be good because I don't have a lot of video game time. But I mean I also don't mind knocking in a point because of the mines, which I know like sounds like kind of nitpicky, but I mean a point for it when it comes to like it really did kind of take away the joy from the mining
Yeah.
of Stardew.
I mean, the combat's nice. The only thing that stinks is the enemies suck. Like, they're just very boring. But you have a dash. You have a good variety of weapons. I think the foundation's good for combat. It's just at the moment the enemies are boring.
I just don't know how to rate it because I'm really bummed I don't know what I gave Stardew, but I don't want to,
I mean, I was tempted to rate it a little bit higher too, but for me, just the bugs, the combat.
I'm giving it like a pass with the bugs because it is new. There is so much with the game. I can kind of see how it does, crash a bit. It is frustrating with like when it crashes. If you like do geodes and stuff, you're gonna get different results. And there was definitely a time that I was like, the day that I played last time was so much better. But yeah, so I don't know.
So 97.
I think I want to stick with 97.
Okay. All right, everyone. Well, since I already did a majority of my outro, go to GamePassGrabBag.com, find all our links, say hi to us. I'm Andrew. I'm out. Go ahead, Keith. Do your outro now. Or did you
Okay,
actually? That was it. That's all you're doing.
I said a lot already. This is so long.
Did you though? Because I feel like we didn't let you say a lot.
Well,
it probably
that's
felt
true.
like you did.
I said a lot intro or outro
Oh yeah,
time
that's
frame
true.
ish. I reeled us back in and took control of this podcast that Andrew was just gone off the rails with. I've done enough.
Yeah. I'm Liz Noob, gamer tag comment I'm Dean, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Liz Noob. Noob is EW.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.